Sunday, January 18th, 2004. It had been just another day for newlyweds Jenifer and Richard Watkins. But late that evening, the phone rang. It turned out to be a call that would ultimately change both of their lives forever.
My husband and I, we were at a friend's house, and he got a call from one of our friends that he went to school with, and he told my husband, Richard, that he needed help. His car died on the freeway. We picked him up, and he took us to where his car died out. My husband and my friend Joe got out of the car, and my husband was maybe outside for 5 minutes, and then he came back in. He goes, "You can get up in the front seat now," because I was in the back seat. I was like, okay. So I got up in the front seat, and then my husband said that he was just getting ready to start the car, and he saw some headlights coming towards us.
At that time, the causing vehicle of this crash was coming along and for whatever reason failed to maintain her lane and drifted over and hit the back of the middle vehicle in this case, and then drove it forward into the other vehicle, which was the broken down vehicle, and caused this horrendous chain reaction that spun them all around and ended up out in the travel lane.
2 Good Samaritans are in the hospital right now, along with 2 more people, after an overnight chain reaction crash that all started with a broken down car along the shoulder of US 95.
Now you see here in this video, the white car took most of the impact in the crash. This all happened at US 95 in Tropicana right around midnight. It closed down the northbound highway for several hours. Troopers say the 2 people inside the white car had been called by a friend whose car was broken down along the side of the road. But before the do-gooders could really help, they were rammed by a pickup truck driven by a 17-year-old girl. Authorities tell me they don't think she was drunk, but she certainly was distracted by something, and she swerved onto the shoulder.
We do see a lot of distracted drivers. It's not always easy to prove what they were distracted by, whether it be, I mean, you can see it every day on your way into work. You look over at the car next to you, you see them putting on makeup, eating, shaving, I pull the next people in my patrol car when they're reading a map or reading a book while they're going down the highway at 60 miles an hour.
You say, well, I'm only look down for a second. A second, it takes, if you're an Olympic athlete and you have great reactions, your reaction time's about a half a second or a little less. Well, if you're going 60 miles an hour, that's what? That's 88 feet per second. So in that half a second, you traveled 44 feet. So you traveled, what, 2-3 car lengths. How can you react? You're going to hit something and you're going to do it. And we see it all the time. And it's just from a lack of attention and doing something. Driving is a full-time job.
This time the patient is intubated with a 7.0 ET tube.
When I was in a coma, I don't remember exactly waking up for the first time. But I just remember waking up one day. I couldn't talk, so I couldn't ask the nurse what I was doing here, where I was, or anything.
The night of the crash, she had a bleed on the brain, several broken bones, a lacerated spleen, possibly a lacerated liver, several critical injuries. In fact, she actually had to go into surgery that night.
We don't know if she's going to pull through that night. Here, between running to her bed and running to my son's bed, and he's just in tears, and because he doesn't show his emotions a whole lot. You know, just tears, is worrying about her.
I had to get a metal rod in my neck, and I have a metal rod and plates and screws all in my body. I have some metal in my arm, like I think it's up here.
It's something that we do on a day-to-day basis, but it's also one of the most dangerous things that we do on a day-to-day basis is driving on our roadways.
Well, I suffer with pain. It could be in my back, my neck, could be anywhere throughout my body. I suffer every day with a brain injury that's never going to go away.
Accident, means that it's something you can't avoid. And 99.9% of our motor vehicle crashes are not accidents. They could have been prevented if somebody had paid attention to what they were doing before it happened.
You don't know how much it's affected my life.